Ever since Hurricane Katrina hit the city a few years ago, New Orleans has become associated with pain and tragedy. But the richness of this city remains, the great musicianship, the amazing food, and the wonderful people. The culture of New Orleans is indelible, undeniable, and must be supported. New Orleans is absolutely and remains a soul city. New Orleans is a very special place. It's Spanish and French, it's Cajun and Creole, it's Native American and African American. It's got a rich history of music, beginnings of jazz, Dixieland, all of that stuff, all the way up to Lil Wayne if you want to take it there. It's a place where the highs and lows of life are so richly intertwined. It's one reason we're standing here in front of Tennessee Williams' old home in the French Quarter. He's the playwright who wrote Cat in the Hot Tin Roof, Streetcar Named Desire, and so many plays that captured the unique mix, the gumbo, if you will, of New Orleans life. Every year, the Essence Music Festival is held at the Louisiana Superdome in New Orleans. I call it the Black Lollapalooza because of the range of black talent and the range of black people who come through. It's one of the best places in the country to see new and emerging talent be showcased. And one of those emerging talents is with me right here, Raheem DeVaughn.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
It's a pleasure to meet you, man. What do you think the difference is between soul music and other forms of music?
It just, I think soul music, it just has that grit to it. Yeah, you can just feel that, it's that gut, that emotion, you know what I mean? It's very reminiscent of like, you know, Al Green
right.
and the blues,
sure.
You know, and Marvin Gaye, you know, just to name a few.
Talk a little bit about New Orleans.
I first came down in New Orleans for Essence like years ago, just as a spectator. I was pursuing music, but wasn't really knee-deep in it, just kind of getting my feet wet at the time. I remember seeing Frankie Beverly and Mays, Boyz II Men perform, Anita Baker, Mary J. Blige, all these artists were hot at the time, Belle Biv DeVoe, you know what I mean? So to come down and see that as a spectator, and then as I developed as an artist, I'm seeing myself step by step, working my way up to the, you know,
the main stage,
the main stage Superdome. It's nothing less to do with the main stage next year, you know?
What's your impression of the area?
New Orleans is definitely certain scenes of it is definitely a party scene, reminiscent of Vegas, you know. So so definitely it has kind of like a Sin City theme.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're here on Bourbon Street, so you know it's sinful right here.
Bourbon Street, yeah.
What's your favorite spot to come to when you come down to New Orleans?
I mean, hey man, if you're going to eat, you gotta check out the Acme Oyster House.
What you gonna have there?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have the fried crabs.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, brother.
Well, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you for talking to me.
Thank you, VH1. Yes, sir.
Preservation Hall opened up in 1860, but didn't become world famous till 1961, when it became a place to celebrate the innovations and creativity of traditional New Orleans jazz, the music of Louis Armstrong and his great mentor, King Oliver. To this day, the Preservation Hall Jazz Band plays here. You can come here and see music, and they travel around the world as well. But we're not here today to talk about jazz, but to talk about soul. The soul of New Orleans is embodied by a woman who's considered the queen of New Orleans soul music, Miss Irma Thomas. Hello, Miss Thomas. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. So you're known as the queen of New Orleans soul.
Or the soul queen of New Orleans, either way.
So how do you get the title? How did you get the title?
My drummer, who's now deceased, who had been with me for 27 years, was the one who had to do the introduction. So he said he had to come up with something. He couldn't call me the singing grandmother, so he said he decided to call me the soul queen of New Orleans.
Did you think you become a symbol of the city's rebirth?
You know, you could say that, because when I got my Grammy nomination and then went to California and received my Grammy, thank you, Lord, you go through a press thing. Yeah. And in one of the press segments, someone among the interviewers asked me, did I feel that I had received my Grammy because of what had happened to New Orleans? Well, the ghetto side of me wanted to really give them a good answer, but I thought about it and I counted to 10 twice. I swallowed very hard and I took a deep breath and I said, well, if that's the reason they gave me this Grammy, then I accept it and I hope it brings hope to my city. And I left them with that.
People from New Orleans have a special connection to this city that seems unique to it.
Yeah.
Any words, any way to describe that?
It's kind of difficult because if you don't have a connection to something that you can relate to the way we relate to this city, it's difficult to explain to someone. We just say that it's no place like this place, anywhere near this place, and we're not lying. We're kind of like a continent unto ourselves.
Well, tell me now, you have your album, After the Rain.
Yes,
Won a Grammy 2007.
yes.
Was that title picked to sort of speak to the rebirth of New Orleans?
I often wondered about that. It seemed to fit the genre of songs that I did on that particular CD. We had chosen most of those songs prior to the storm. The only songs that were added was one called These Honeydews and Shelter in the Rain, which is a cover of Stevie Wonder's song. My producer says, Irma, we got to put that song on the CDs. And that seems to be the favorite of a lot of people. I always use that song to say thank you to the folk who came here, who visited here and took their times and vacations to come and help us rebuild our city, help people get back into their homes, because they have been our shelter in the rain. And so it fits. I mean, I could have lived 1,000 other places, but they're not New Orleans.
Coming up, classic Creole restaurants, old school music stores, and much, much more. Let's go in here. This spot, I hear it's pretty good, man. Pretty good. New Orleans is a place, you know, always known for the unusual and the odd. That may be why it has so many collectible spots and antique shops. I'm gonna go into this one here, Vintage 429. It's my friend, Terrence Blanchard, a native son of the town, great musician, and check out some collectibles. Come on. Well, I have these books out here I wanted to show you, man.
Okay.
Autographed Dr. King.
Wow.
People forget how many books the brother wrote. When we was getting in and out of jail and saving the black community, he was also prolific. First edition, this is crazy.
It's powerful. Carries its own vibe.
One in particular, I thought you'd appreciate this.
Ooh, Miles Davis. That's the man, yeah.
Now, do you still play trumpet?
Of course, man. I'm never gonna put that down. He's my hero. Came from the great tradition of the music, played with Charlie Parker, was influenced by Dizzy Gillespie and all of those guys. But he really pushed the music forward, and he never looked back.
We talked a little bit about, you know, Katrina and the general sense of how it affected. But how has the music community rebounded from that in this town?
Well, some of the musicians here, man, are really some of the unsung heroes of the whole event, because in the immediate aftermath of the hurricane, there were musicians who stayed here, and they were the ones who were playing gigs. Because, you know, the people who stayed here, man, they had to deal with a lot emotionally. So to get a break from that, they were going out and they were hearing live music, man, and other musicians started to realize that they needed to come back.
Well, this is a town where young people play instruments.
Yes.
This is not like New York where everyone's got a turntable or whatever. I see kids, they got trumpets.
I mean, when you look at the list of lineage of trumpet players that have come from this city, man, it's really vast and it's really amazing, you know, and that still exists today. I'm very proud of what has been happening here in this city. I feel very fortunate and blessed enough to be a part of this community.
Let's go over here and go buy some more stuff, man.
No, I'm gonna let you buy, man. You're gonna buy me a gift.
All right, brother. It's really good hanging out with you.
Oh man, that was
Thank God I didn't buy anything.
You supposed to though.
See you soon, man.
All right, man. Peace.
The only thing more legendary than New Orleans cuisine are the restaurants that serve it. And one of my favorites is right here, Olivier's in the French Quarter. About to go inside, I'm gonna have some rabbit, some gumbo, and some crawfish. This is Mr. Armand Olivier, the founder and proprietor. Tell me about Olivier's and how long it's been in business.
The restaurant started in 1979. We opened on the strength of my wife's cooking abilities and love to serve people. And we were an instant hit.
You know the history of what this drink is I'm having?
It's a Sazerac. It was invented right here in this city.
What's in it?
I have no idea.
All right, so much for the Sazerac.
I have no idea.
What makes Creole cuisine unique?
Actually, it's the French. They brought their cuisine here intact. The spices were available, and people who did the work for them, they tried to duplicate their foods and their cuisine. And when they went home, they didn't have all of the stuff that the French had, so there was some improvising.
Absolutely.
And we kind of like improved on it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay.
So I hope we're going to sit down and have some of your good Creole food.
We'll be happy to let you partake.
We'll take one more sip.
Watch it, Nelson. I've heard that was potent now.
Tell me a little bit about the gumbo.
Well, the Creole gumbo here is my son's creation.
Okay.
We serve 3 gumbos. One is the Creole, which is my son's. The okra gumbo is my wife's, and the filet gumbo recipe is my recipe.
Which one is best?
Mine.
That was excellent. Wow. Yeah. I'm going to have some more of that before we're through. This is the
crawfish etouffee.
Tell me a little some of the ingredients.
Basically crawfish and a whole lot of different seasoning.
Is that the magic elixir of Creole cuisine?
It's one of them. Like I told a lady the other night, she said, what did you put in there? I said, I put my foot in it.
Well, I'm very happy right now. When you come down to Olivier's, which I hope everyone who's watching will do when they come to New Orleans.
Not at one time now.
Oh, come on now, let's all come through here. They have a little Sazerac. The gumbo, now, I can't speak for your gumbo, but your son's gumbo is mighty tasty.
Just imagine one notch up.
It's been amazing to be here with you.
You're making me hungry now.
You want some? I'm about to do a little thing here. All right. Now, I'm really excited. I'm heading over to the Praline Connection, a New Orleans favorite, for a lesson in the art of the po' boy and to try a dish I've never had before. Today, we're going to do something that's a very New Orleans specialty, which is the po' boy.
Right. To make a good po' boy, you need these ingredients.
Okay.
First thing you do, you just slap on some good old meal.
Okay.
You want a lot of lettuce on it.
Absolutely. Keep that thing crunchy.
And then you put your 2 or 3 strips of this. And right now, we're going to do a hot sausage po' boy, because that's one of the most famous ones here in New Orleans.
Okay. Now, how hot is this sausage?
Hot. Cut the po' boy like this.
Okay.
Take 2 of these to hold it in place, put it on there, and voila, you have a hot sausage po' boy.
We're good to go.
Very
1,
good.
2, 3. That's really good. That's really good.
Good to go.
So let me try one.
Okay, I'm gonna let you try.
Okay.
Now, here you go.
Okay. I get my mayo.
Yep.
Now, lots of it, right? Ooh.
Yeah. You want to set it down.
Okay, set it down.
And you want to take
Okay. I
lots
got
of
a lot of this.
Yeah,
a lot of
man.
this.
Be crunchy like that.
My mother will be very impressed to see me do this.
Yeah, man. And you're gonna do the shrimp.
Oh,
just
no,
grab
okay.
the shrimp and just set it on there.
Now I put it right on top here?
No.
Oh, in here. I see. Oh, this shrimp smells mighty good.
Take this one here.
Okay.
And you fold this over like
fold
this.
this over like this. Okay.
And then you cut your bread in it. And then you take and set it up on your. No, it's okay. It's okay like that.
And this is a
Shrimp po' boy.
shrimp po' boy.
Now, see, when you're making a good po' boy, you got to make sure that everything stays inside the bread. And that's
I didn't do a good job of that. You have some more stuff for me to eat, I think?
yeah. Well, once we go out to the dining room, I have a few more dishes I'd like you to try.
Wow. This is a complete Praline Connection meal.
Yeah.
It's my first alligator.
All right.
Sauce is killing.
Yeah. Make you forget you eating an alligator.
Well, they eat us, so I guess it's
Yeah,
like, it's
oh,
only,
yeah.
turnaround is fair play. You want to do a little bit of this right here?
Now you want to make sure you get the beans now.
I'm getting the beans. Let me hit it with a little of this hot sauce in here. Whoa, no. I ain't got nothing to say. That was just good.
Pure D goodness.
Pure D goodness, absolutely. So Curtis, I want to thank you for the hospitality here at the Praline Connection. It's been amazing.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. Anytime you want a down-home meal, this is the place to come.
You got it.
Praline Connection. Thank you.
The French Market literally goes back to the days when New Orleans was a French colony. It's located just steps from the Mississippi River, where traders coming up the Atlantic and down from the north could sell their wares. It exists today, adjacent to the French Quarter. It's a place where all manner of local items are on display, from Mardi Gras masks to shellacked alligator heads, from CDs to Jester hats to New Orleans Hornets caps. Maybe because New Orleans is blessed with a rich tradition of great music and great musicians, it also has a wealth of fantastic record stores. I'm talking about old school vinyl spots where if you dig through, you can find a gem or two. One of the best music stores in the city is on Decatur Street, the Louisiana Music Factory. There's so much great music that's come out of this city. I've just selected a few artists and records to focus on, but I could go on for hours, actually. The first person you got to start with when you're talking about soul, R&B, rock and roll, that tradition of popular music that came up after World War II, is Fats Domino.
This time I'm walking to New Orleans.
Strong left hand, that kind of doom, 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 doom. You recognize from all those records. Walking to New Orleans, which is on this album. Blueberry Hill, I'm Walking. In fact, you hear that phrase, I'm walking, a lot in his songs because it refers to that kind of style, stride piano that he brought to rock and roll. Fats Domino. Now, Ernie K. Doe is not a real national figure, but he is a huge figure in the history of New Orleans music. He had a song called Mother-in-Law, which was a big hit back in around '61. Then he had some problems. His career never really took off. Apparently he had a little alcohol problem. Then came back, opened up a restaurant bar called Mother-in-Law, and became kind of a local legend all over again. Ernie's favorite saying was, when the world comes to an end, there'll be 3 songs left. The Star-Spangled Banner, Amazing Grace, and Mother-in-Law, because even at the end of the world, there'll be mother-in-laws. One of my favorite albums, actually. Maze, featuring Frankie Beverly in New Orleans, recorded in 1981. It's a double album, 3 sides of live music, classic songs, Changing Times, Joy and Pain, Happy Feeling, Southern Girl. Even though he's not from New Orleans and he's based out of the Bay Area, associated him completely and intimately with this city. In fact, when the Essence Music Festival plays here, Frankie always closes the show. And my last album here is a classic, Nightbirds, recorded here in New Orleans, produced by Alan Toussaint, who's one of the legends of New Orleans music. Patti LaBelle, Sarah Dash, Nona Hendrix, Lady Marmalade, which is a song with a French hook, recorded about a prostitute walking the streets of the French Quarter we're in right now. So this song is really relevant to the environment we're in. And what's even really good news is that LaBelle is not over. LaBelle has reformed. They've been doing shows this year. In fact, they're doing a record on Verb Records that has Gamble & Huff, Lenny Kravitz, a wide range of producers and engineers. So look for Patti LaBelle, Sarah Dash, and Nona Hendrix to come back together again. And that's just a sample of the music, the great music that comes out of New Orleans. Coming up, more down-home New Orleans soul, more funk, and more soul cities when we return.
Damn, the sweet potatoes look good. Anybody want sweet potatoes?
I'm standing outside of everyone says Sydney Saloon. We should call it the Kermit Sydney Saloon, since its proprietor, Kermit Ruffin, is here next to me. Who's the proprietor? He's the bartender sometimes, I'm sure. He's the chef, and he's a hell of a trumpet player, I hear.
Yes, that's right.
It's a pleasure to meet you, man.
Pleasure to meet you.
Tell me a little bit about your musical history first.
Yeah, I started down in the lower 9th Ward, right where the levees broke during Katrina. And I was lucky enough to go to Clark Senior High School and meet Philip Frazier. We started the Rebirth Brass Band.
You're one of the people who started the Rebirth Brass
That's
Band?
right.
I didn't know that. Much respect, much respect.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, now you call yourself Kermit Ruffin and the Barbecue Swingers. You know, what is the importance of barbecue and music to you?
Man, I'm one of those cats that just started tailgating at all my shows just for the hell of it to feed the band. Before I knew it, I named my band the Barbecue Swingers and started bringing out the big barbecue grill.
What's your specialty?
My specialty is that barbecue Patton's hot sausage.
Barbecue's Patton hot sausage.
Spicy.
And how do you prepare this?
I just throw it on the grill in a curl shape, like so.
Looks like a snake there.
Yeah, about 45 minutes. You got some of the best. Look at this damn sweet potato.
Oh, man.
When I tell you.
So can you do one more thing for me? Can you
Yeah.
play me a little bit of trumpet to accompany that meal I'm about to have?
Oh, I love that kind of stuff.
As you might imagine, New Orleans has lots of colorful figures that promote and support the contemporary music scene. One of those is a funky fly lady named DJ Soul Sister.
You're listening to WWOZ 90.7 FM, and my name is, of course, the Soul Sister. How you doing?
It's a pleasure to be here in
It's
your
so
presence. Tell me a little bit about what a soul audience likes to hear in New Orleans.
Something that they can dance to, but also that they can feel. I specialize in funky music. It doesn't have to be
Right.
anything popular, just something that feels good. That's what New Orleans is about. If we feel it, we like it.
What are the New Orleans bands that everyone out there has to have a copy of?
Okay, the Meters.
Right.
You can't go anywhere without starting with them.
If you had one record that was New Orleans funk, what would that record be?
Gosh, talk about an easy question. One record for New Orleans funk, you know, Honda Wanda by the Wild Magnolias, Mardi Gras Indians. There were two versions of it. Either one is on the one. You want to see a record?
Absolutely.
All right. Oh, here we go.
Okay. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. If I can give away a digging secret, I bought that copy in New York because I was in New York for 2 months after Katrina.
I had
And
this record.
It's an awesome record.
Yeah.
The price on it is only $10, which is crazy cheap because for originals in New Orleans, they were charging $200 and $300.
This is incredible.
This one.
Thank you for that. Aside from playing at WWOZ, you also do several parties around town.
My main one that's gone on for about 4 years now at a place called Mimi's and the Marigny is called Hustle. I feature underground disco breaks, deep funk, what's known as deep funk, a lot of rare groove dance floor movers, a lot of old school funk as well.
DJ Soul Sister's been fantastic. Really, really good. Give me a kiss here. Come on.
Oh, right on. Mwah.
Thank you for having me here in your house.
Thank you for all you've done. You are listening to WWOZ FM New Orleans, and I am the Soul Sister. Look out.
Like so much in New Orleans, the best young musicians give a nod to the past or keep an eye on the future. I'm on Frenchman Street to check out another favorite New Orleans act, Big Sam and his Funky Nation. You come out of a very strong jazz background, but you're a funky nation.
Yeah, you're right.
So how did that transition occur?
You know, playing jazz was good and everything, but I wanted to get people up and dancing more because people weren't dancing to jazz like they were back in the day.
No doubt.
You know, I wanted to make people dance, move, shake your booty, do something, you know what I'm saying?
Sure. Blue Nile seems to be your home away from home.
Yes, definitely.
Tell me a little bit about this spot.
This spot came around 8 years ago. Everybody come up in here and have a good time, going crazy. You know, we get a party going on stage and things like that, you know what I'm saying? We definitely have a great appreciation for the Blue Nile. Blue Nile is our home right here in New Orleans.
In fact, tell me a little bit, since we're talking about Blue Nile, tell me about Frenchman Street and what that means.
Frenchman Street is actually becoming like the new strip of New Orleans. Like Bourbon Street right now is more, you know, you might
It's
hear-
tourists. It's people like me.
But Frenchman Street is actually becoming the strip where you can check out the real music, like
Right.
Bourbon was way back in the day, you know? So Frenchman Street is like the strip in New Orleans now. So if you're ever in New Orleans, you gotta come to Frenchman Street. That's the only place to come, you know what I'm saying? Of course they have, you know, other places uptown and all that kind of stuff, but Frenchman Street, the Blue Nile, the spot you wanna be at, you know?
Word.
Yeah, you're right.
You just seen a sample of what New Orleans has to offer. Come on down. They need your help, they need your support, and they need your love. I'm Nelson George, and I'll catch you down the road. I'm gonna go inside now and have some of its classic rabbit, Creole. I'm falling apart now. I'm falling apart. It's all falling apart. Is that a vintage car or is it just, what's it called in LA? Hoopty. Hoopty is the word I was looking for. This city, the birthplace of jazz, still has great culture, great food, great music. Oh, oh, oh. That came a little close. That came a little close. Absolutely, keep that thing crunchy.